Zombieland Double Tap is the sequel to Zombieland, and it once again stars Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin. So Zombieland Double Tap takes place 10 years after the events of the first Zombieland. Tallahassee, Columbus, Wichita, and Little Rock are still together. They still fight zombies, and they're basically a family at this point. And that's when Little Rock goes on her own adventure with this hippie guy who smokes weed, and that's when Tallahassee, Columbus, and Wichita have to go off on their own adventure to find Little Rock. And yet again, craziness and zombie madness ensures in the Zombieland universe, and we have ourselves a sequel. Now, the first Zombieland is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie. I could watch it all day and never get tired of it. It's a blast from start to finish. It's definitely one of the funniest comedies that has been released during the century. But what really made the first Zombieland work was the cast and their chemistry together. Their performances were fantastic, and they embodied those characters so well. I'm not gonna lie when I say, when they announced they were making a sequel to Zombieland, I was a bit skeptical, because the first Zombieland is perfect as its own movie. Like, it really didn't need a sequel. Now, I walked into Zombieland 2 with little to no expectations. I was like, okay, this could either be really funny, or it could either just be a dud. Because when it comes to comedy sequels, you don't really expect them to be that great. Keep in mind, we got Dumb and Dumber 2 and Zoolander 2 released a couple of years ago. And now that I've seen the movie, I saw it last night, Sunday night, depending on when you're watching this. And I'm happy to say, Zombieland 2 is a blast. It's a blast from start to finish. It's a really fun and very entertaining sequel. First of all, the cast is still great, their chemistry is still excellent, and they still ace these performances. Tallahassee, played by Woody Harrelson, once again, he's still my favorite character, and every time he was given a funny line, I was just cracking up. And Jesse Eisenberg is still really good as Columbus. I mean, yeah, he is the nerdy and dorky one in the group, but he's definitely the most likable character in the movie, because he's the one who's like really calm and chill, and he's the easy one you can just relate to. There's a new character that's introduced in Zombieland 2, and I really want to talk about her because I really thought she was a great addition to the cast, and that's Madison, played by Zoe Doyce. I remember when I first watched the trailer, when it first introduces Madison, I remember thinking, oh, they're doing this. Oh boy, this is gonna get old fast for sure. But thankfully, Zoe Doyce nailed Madison. She was hilarious. The best way to sum up Madison is basically think of Phoebe from Friends, except not an obnoxious stereotype, and is actually legitimately funny. I'm sure most of you are wondering, is Zombieland 2 just as good as Zombieland 1? Well, not quite. I do have some issues with Zombieland 2, but it's nothing major, just minor nitpicks. I'll try my best to be as vague as possible, so here we go. So, if you remember from the trailer, they show the doppelgangers to Tallahassee and Columbus, the ones that are played by Luke Wilson and Thomas Middleton. When they first showed up, it was really funny, but they go in a different direction with them that I was not expecting, because when I saw the trailer, I thought they would be in the movie for like the majority of the time, but without going into spoilers, they go in a direction I wasn't expecting with them, and when I thought about it, I was like, maybe this could have been cut from the movie. Because, not that I hated them, I thought they were really funny, but it felt like they were in it for filler. And the story did get a bit predictable at some parts, but I didn't mind, because it's Zombieland 2. Are you really expecting this to be the next Citizen Kane? Of course not. So overall, Zombieland 2, while it's not quite as good as the first one, and I did have some minor nitpicks with it, it's overall a solid sequel. It's a blast from start to finish. It's hilarious, the cast is still excellent, it's a fun ride all the way through. And on paper, It's one of those sequels that really should not exist in the first place, but thankfully, they pulled it off and they succeeded. I give Zombieland Double Tap a B+. And the post-credit scene was absolutely amazing. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's easily one of my favorite moments I've seen in any movie that has come out this year. So, if you have seen Zombieland 2, what are your thoughts on it? Do you prefer the first film, or do you prefer the sequel? Just leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to see more of my videos, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more great content.